This is EcoTricity's EcoTEC Roundup show from Aptera's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we are the leading supplier of electricity to EVs in Aptera. Switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Welcome back to another episode of news in the world of clean cars and green energy. Thank you for joining me. Before we get into today's show, I do have a quick editorial note. Due to a weekend press launch event I'm attending in California, this show has been prepared and filmed an entire day ahead of schedule. That means that any breaking news stories from Friday or Saturday Kiwi time will not be in this week's show. Sorry. For years now, hardened Tesla fans have been promising that Tesla would be the company to revolutionize the auto industry with a sub-$25,000 equivalent EV. Now it looks like Volkswagen will beat it to the punch, unveiling the ID.2all concept this week, a car that it says previews a production model that will launch for 2025. With a starting price of under €25,000, range of up to 279 miles, 450 kilometers, the ID.2all will become the all-electric successor to the current generation Volkswagen Golf, but it will be joined a year later by the 2026 Volkswagen ID.1, an even smaller car, think Volkswagen upsized, that will retail from under $21,000 equivalent. Volkswagen's push to become an all-electric brand is now certainly in full swing, and we cannot wait to drive both of these cars. As vehicles become even safer for their occupants, the standards used to test them become increasingly tougher. And this week, the US Institute for Highway Safety revealed results of its latest crash test suite. It's been at the forefront of US crash test safety for years, and its latest test suite includes a new rear passenger protection series of tests designed to see just how safe the rear seat area is for passengers and children. Having tested many of the mid-size SUVs on the market in the US today, the IIHS notes that the majority fall short in this new set of tests, with only a few vehicles providing good protection for rear seat occupants. Among that small list is the Tesla Model Y and Ford Mustang Mach E, both of which scored good in the new test. Overall, the Tesla Model Y aced 10 out of the 11 tests in the IIHS's new test suite, falling short in new rear passenger restraint tests. Only the Mustang Mach E earned a good rating in all 11 tests. BMW held its annual conference this week, showcasing some of its successes to date and laying out its plans for future years. While BMW is, as we reported recently, still working on developing internal combustion engines, its new X2 crossover SUV will be getting an all-electric sibling in the form of the BMW iX2. It's a vehicle which will share many of its underpinnings with the BMW iX1 you're seeing on screen right now. We've seen the iX2 plenty in spy shots, undergoing final testing before launch. At the same event, BMW confirmed it will debut the next generation 5 Series in October with a fully electric i5 variant and an M-badged performance i5. There's also a 5 Series electric Wagon coming. Yes! And in total, BMW says it will introduce a total of 6 new electric models based on its new class architecture in the first 24 months of the platform's launch. In the past few months, we've watched California-based solar electric vehicle specialist Aptera work to raise the final capital it needs to bring its Aptera SEV to series production. This week, it announced it's been awarded a $21 million grant from the California Energy Commission to help it on that journey. Combined with the Accelerate Aptera program it launched earlier this year, basically a final round of crowdfunding that's raised nearly $8 million to date, Aptera is now closer than ever to series production. The new $21 million grant from the California Energy Commission isn't just a blank check, however. Aptera has to first spend $21 million of its own money on production equipment before the CEC will reimburse it with grant funds. So it does need that $21 million on hand before anything can happen. During its annual general meeting this week, Porsche laid out some of its goals for the brand, detailing what we can expect as Porsche goes mostly all-electric. Although Porsche has been working on e-fuels alongside electric vehicles, it's now confirmed that by 2030 it wants 80% of its global production to be electric. For that to happen, it's going to be working on a slew of new electric models, starting with the upcoming Porsche Macan that's due to launch for 2024. Next on the list is the Porsche 718 with both electric Boxster and Cayman variants, followed by an all-electric Porsche Cayenne. On Monday, it reiterated that a full-sized all-electric SUV will be coming that will be bigger than the Porsche Cayenne, which seems to confirm rumours that we've been hearing about a 3-row electric SUV from the company. Only the Porsche 911 is expected to remain as an internal combustion model, for now at least. After years of teasing, Lexus has finally officially launched the RZ450e in the US, a car that's basically an upmarket version of the Toyota BZ4X and by extension the Subaru Solterra. With a starting price of just under $60,000, the RZ450e is priced to cross-shop against other luxury electric vehicles on the market, with likely cross-shopping candidates expected to be cars like the Audi e-tron Q4 and Cadillac Lyriq. Being full of more doodads and gadgets than either of the other two variants it shares a platform with, the RZ450e travels less far per charge than either the Toyota or the Subaru, with an EPA-approved 220 miles, 354 kilometers per charge for the 18-inch wheel variant, and even less for the larger 20-inch wheeled variant. Expect market availability, like that for the Toyota and Subaru, to be limited at first. We're quite eager to drive it. When Amazon made a $700 million investment in Rivian in 2019, it did more than help Rivian gain much-needed funds for series production. As part of that deal, Amazon stated it would buy more than 100,000 custom-designed electric delivery vehicles, or EDVs, from Rivian as part of its pledge to go carbon neutral by 2040. That deal also gave Amazon initial exclusivity to said vehicle, meaning Rivian could not sell that vehicle to other customers without Amazon's say-so. But now, according to the Wall Street Journal, Amazon and Rivian are in talks to end that exclusivity deal when Amazon told Rivian it wants to buy just 10,000 EDVs this year. Basically, Rivian wants to be able to sell the EDVs to other customers, and it's going to be interesting to see if Amazon lets it. As always, we'll share more info as we have it. BMW might have been laying out its expansive plans for a range of new electric models between now and 2030, but this week it also launched a fleet of BMW iX5 hydrogen fuel cell test vehicles. Based on Toyota's hydrogen fuel cell technology, BMW has been working on the iX5 hydrogen fuel cell vehicles for 4 years and claims the limited production model in the test fleet has a WLTP range of around 313 miles or 504 kilometers per fill, which is actually less than the larger BMW iX's range of its battery electric drivetrain. Of course, BMW claims that the iX5 hydrogen is going to be more appealing to fleet operators due to its quicker refueling when compared to a battery electric vehicle, and it says it hopes hydrogen will be one of several critical pillars for a carbon-free future alongside its battery electric models. After what feels like weeks of teasing, Kia has finally pulled the covers off the production variant of its EV9 electric SUV, and externally it isn't that far removed from the EV9 concept. Inside, though, the concept car seating has been replaced with a much more practical design, with a dashboard and centre console arrangement that will be familiar to anyone who's driven the latest electric cars from the brand. What's different to any Kia EV we've seen before, though, is the fact that the EV9 not only has 3 rows of seats, an EV first for Kia, but its second row of seats swivel around to face the third row, giving the EV9's rear seat area a more minivan feel, or maybe executive shuttle. It certainly adds extra interior flexibility to the car, but I'm guessing it will also add to the price. Sadly, though, neither pricing nor specifications have been released yet. We'll have to wait a little longer for both. Tesla's supercharger network has been going through some very interesting changes in recent weeks, with the majority of Europe's supercharger network now open to non-Tesla EVs and some supercharger sites in North America opening up in the same way. On top of that, though, Tesla has been introducing its fourth-generation supercharger stalls. Slimmer than previous stalls and without the open hole in the middle of their design, the V4 Superchargers come with longer charge cables to facilitate charging of non-Tesla EVs without taking up multiple parking spaces. Sadly, we do not have rights-cleared video or photo of these new designs. We are working on that, but this week we did get some interesting news about the specs of those new units. According to several reports, the V4 Superchargers are rated to 1000 volts and 615 amps, although not necessarily simultaneously, but that could mean a possible 600 and some kilowatts of charging power. I don't know about you, but that's pretty spicy. Before we get to the last two stories, a quick question. Are you in the market for a new electric car? If you are, and you are in Aptera, you should totally check out our very own buyer's guide at ecotricity.co.nz. It is packed with all the information you need to pick a car that's right for you and includes plenty of details about incentives you could get, charging providers you can use, and of course how to get clean green energy at home. So follow the link below and start your journey today. Depending on your outlook, autonomous vehicle technology is either a new utopian future for us all or a hellhole of ceding control to the machines that will ultimately kill us. And let's be honest, the rollout of autonomous vehicle technology, while technically very interesting, hasn't been smooth. We've seen autonomous vehicles stop in the middle of streets, block up traffic, and completely ignore stop signs and traffic signals. And now, according to a new study from the Georgia Institute of Technology, autonomous vehicles have developed racial biases that could prove lethal. The new study details how autonomous vehicles find it easier to detect pedestrians with lighter skin tones than it does those with darker skin tones. In its tests, it found autonomous vehicles were 5% less accurate at detecting pedestrians with darker skin than those with lighter skin, regardless of the time of day or weather. It is a disturbing turn of events that the auto industry needs to fix now. And finally, in our utopian future world, you know, the one where cars can drive themselves, we might also hope that we no longer need to carry physical keys, using some form of other identification to unlock our vehicles. These days, some of us use our mobile phones as car keys, allowing us to unlock and drive even if we don't have the keys on us. But this week, we got a disturbing report of a case in which a Tesla owner was able to unlock and drive a car that wasn't their own using Tesla's phone as a key setup. Apparently, the incident, which happened in Vancouver, Canada, occurred when two identical Teslas were parked close to each other, and one owner innocently mistook which car was theirs, unlocking the wrong car and driving away. It was only after I got a text message from the car's owner that they realised the issue. As far as I know, as of the time of recording, Tesla has not responded to this story, and there may be things we don't know that will be coming to later on, and if we find those out, we'll let you know. But on that note, we are done for today. Before I go, though, do make sure you've hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest in EV news from this channel. And of course, if you haven't already switched, why not switch to Aptera's only carbon zero certified renewable electricity company? It is super easy to make the switch, and you'll be helping the nation wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean, green power that will keep the land beautiful for generations to come. And I should note that EcoTricity is now climate positive, which is super awesome. Good job, guys. I'll be back next week with awesome content, as will the lovely Gavin Kiwi EV Shoebridge. If you haven't seen his videos from Fully Charged Live Australia, it's high time you check his coverage. And I'll be back next weekend with the usual roundup show. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Que kite! See you next time.